And that's verse 12. Now the Lord said to Moses, go up into the mountain of Abarim, and see the land which I have given to the children of Israel. When you have seen it, you also shall gather to your people as Aaron your brother was gathered. 14.
For ye rebelled against my commandment in the desert of Zin, and the strife of congregation to sanctify me at the water before their eyes. That is the water of Meribah and Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin. And Moses spoke unto the Lord, saying, let the Lord of God, the Spirit of all flesh, set man over the congregation.
17.
Which may go out before them, and which may go in before them, and which may lead them out, and which may bring them in, that the congregation of the Lord be not as sheep, which have no shepherd. And the Lord said unto Moses, take thee Joshua, the son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit, and lay thine hand upon him, and set him before Eleazar the priest, and before all the congregation, and give him a charge in their sight.
20.
And thou shalt put some of thine honor upon them, that all the congregation of the children of Israel may be obedient. And he shall stand before Eleazar the priest. He shall ask counsel for him after the judgment of before the Lord. At his word shall they go out, and at his word they shall come in, both he and all the children of Israel with them, even all the congregation.
So Moses did as the Lord commanded him. He took Joshua and sat him before Eleazar the priest and before all the congregation. And he laid his hands on him and
Inaugurated
him just as the Lord commanded by the hands of Moses.
So then, guys, when we go back and look at this, I mentioned Moses is 120 years, around 120 years old, right? I back it up in Deuteronomy 31, verses 2. Your next paragraph says what? God assured
Moses that he would be gathered to his people. This means that Moses would join all the believers who had gone before him and lived with him eternally in the promised land of heaven, face to face with God.
So here's my point, and then this is where we got stuck. I got so many phone calls over this. That's why I said we have got to be careful when you have babies that are in this church. I put this down by looking at your scriptures. Your scripture says in verse 12, what?
And the Lord said to Moses, get thee up into Mount Ararat, and see the land which I have given unto the children of Israel. And when thou hast seen it, thou also shalt be gathered unto the people, as Aaron thy brother was gathered.
And this is the issue. And the issue was, this has got to mean his people. We would say then the Israelites, right? Right? So that would be the issue. Then we would say that he's to be gathered with the Israelites. We only have one concern with this. I went back to study. What is the concern? Who's speaking in this text?
the Lord.
Who?
The Lord.
The Lord. Does the Lord speak on physical terms or on spiritual terms?
Spiritual.
You better know it. They're going where?
Promised
To the
land.
promised land. The promised land represents what?
Heaven.
You got it. By what they see, though, the promised land means what?
Fruit
The
and
land.
honey. Yeah, the
That
regular
is
land.
What?
Fruit and milk and honey. I said fruit.
Remember? That's the way they would see, well, you know how we want to see it. But that's the way they would see it. A land that God is going to give them, and hallelujah. But we fail to understand the Old Testament's for our learning. It is designed for us to see what they couldn't see. So when we see, when he speaks of the gathering of his people, I think, Tiffany, you read it, and I said something in this, in the writing. It says what? This means that Moses, see it? This,
Where?
God assured Moses that he would be gathered to his people.
Okay, this means that Moses would join all the believers who had gone before him and live with them eternally in the promised land of heaven.
So
face to
I
face
made
with
that
God.
statement because if he's gathered with all of his people, then who would be his people? If Moses, which we know did go up, because we saw him in Matthew the 17th chapter, and the transfiguration, right? Remember, Elijah, Moses were there, right? Speaking to Jesus. So we know Moses went up. The message here is it also sends another message. And what it says is, as he says, thou also shalt be gathered unto thy people as Aaron. See that? As Aaron thy brother. So then what are you doing? God is also letting him know that Moses and Aaron and Miriam were considered what? Before God? Disobedient. Right? Were considered disobedient. But that disobedience was built around something that God had asked of them to do, and they went against it. Aaron went against it because he went along with Miriam. Remember that? So he went against. But overall, what were they doing? Obedient to God. Overall, they weren't doing what God told them to do. They weren't leading the people out. Even Miriam, after her hand became white as snow, you didn't hear no more about her. She understood, whoa, this is real. I am to, whether I like it or not, I am willing to honor Moses. A lot of times, our biggest problems when it comes down to honor is the one that's closest to us. That's her brother. She's been raised with him the whole time, right? She's been around him the whole time. So when it's the idea of Aaron is God's man, Moses is God's man. No, he's just my brother. He's just a man. So we can say what we want to say. We can talk to him. We can talk about him because he's our brother. But can't nobody, you've heard it, but nobody else talk about him. You've heard that statement? Well, God says, not even you talk about him. You don't even talk about him. Then we return our hands white as snow. So here we go. Now he's mentioned it. And you say, well, why didn't he mention Miriam? Why would he mention Miriam? She is considered what? A female, whether we like it or not. She's considered a female. Was she leading the people? Was she the one that they saw in the forefront? No. So since she wasn't the one that they saw in the forefront, then who did they see? Aaron and Moses. As a matter of fact, did not Aaron speak for Moses, right? So Aaron would certainly be, someone that you would see and as a standout. Well, God has now said to Moses, you're going to see the what?
Promised
You're going to
land.
see the promised land, but you're not going to
Enter it.
enter into the promised land. But then he makes this statement that was a struggle. He says, you two shall be gathered with Moses, your brother, right? That's what he said, right? For Aaron, right? Aaron, your brother, right? Then that is, what are you doing, God? If we always, anytime God speaks, we are not to think what? Carnal. Right? We are not to think carnal. We are to think on a spiritual level. And Christians would be the ones who would be able to think on a spiritual level. The world, the carnal-minded man, would only see what the flesh has shown him. He would only see the earth, the world. So the statement made, look at it again, the statement made, and not my paper, but the Bible. The statement made says what? Teresa, go ahead. 12 says what?
And the Lord said unto Moses.
And the Lord said unto Moses. Now watch this. Nobody else. The Lord said this unto Moses. Then he says what?
Get thee up into this mountain.
So I want you to go up to this mountain of Abba, right? So I want you to go up. And when you go up in this mountain, he says what?
And see the land which
you are
I
going
have
to
given
then,
unto the children of Israel.
You're going to do what? Look over it. Because it's going to be land that's going to be given to the children of Israel. Then watch this. He says the children. So watch this. He says the children of who?
Israel.
Don't move that now. He says, I want you to go up, right? Don't move it. And when you go up, you to look over it. We call it the promised land, right? He says, but I want you to look over and to what? To see the land that I'm going to give to the who? Unto the children of Israel. Why did you give this to Moses? Why did you give this to Aaron? You see what I'm saying? But what he's saying is, so what I'm going to do then is you don't have to worry about it. Because I'm gathering you with your brother, Aaron. Oh, I know I'm trying to put it in layman's terms. Aaron is dead, right? That's what I want you to see. So watch this. Moses, if you think carnal, you would say he's dead. So then what you're saying is, I'm going to be dead. But he's not saying it to bring him down. He's not saying this to Moses to bring him down. He's saying, Moses, you don't realize that you have a better place to go. By the way, your brother is there. That's what he's saying. Your brother is there. So because if this is the case, then why did he say the people? See, gather them up and you will be with the people. He is specific. He says Aaron. See it in your text? He says Aaron. 12, verse 12. He says Aaron. He's specific. Who is specific?
12 says Moses.
Yeah, well, go ahead. Is it 13?
Yeah.
13 says what?
Oh, and when thou hast seen it, thou also shalt be gathered unto thy people as Aaron thy brother.
Where is Aaron then? In the grave? Where is Aaron? He's got to be, he's in that other world. He's with God. If we want God, I say even paradise. But he's with God is where he's at. So then if this be the case, and he's with God, that's what he's trying to give him. But watch this. Moses, would you be able to see it? Moses, would you be able to see it?
He see the land.
See this place as see what do you see, Moses? Do you see your dead brother in the ground?
No,
Or do you hear your brother is alive?
he's alive.
He says you will be with Aaron, your
And unto thy
brother.
people as Aaron thy brother was gathered.
Yes. So here's the question. Then the other thought is this. Then who would be gathered with Aaron? Watch this. He says people, right?
Yeah.
So hold on. What type of people, when we're in the other world, will you be around?
We're Christians, we're brothers and sisters.
Believers. But right, those that are obedient. So you would see then who? Abraham. See what I'm saying? You would then see him. See what I'm saying? So when we go into the text, you're going to then see God speaking to Moses, and it's not to bring him down. It's simply to remind him that I kept, first of all, I kept my promise. I said you couldn't enter. Hear me? That's God. I said you couldn't enter. I didn't say you couldn't see. But I said you couldn't enter. So I should walk around with my head down because I won't enter
No,
into
but
that.
you said something last week that it's some things he got to do before he's able to go.
Well, that's going to come up because God is going to give him more work. You can't, like, you there.
Yeah,
You
he
can't
encouraged
work with your head down. You can't, don't give me, I've got a job. You're going to give me a job and I need to train you to take my job. You hear me? To take my job. Don't give me this, because how am I going to feel? Knowing that you're going to take my job. Do I really want to train you? You hear what I'm saying? No, I don't. So then, this statement he's making is to encourage him.
Yeah.
You're going home. You're going to go with other believers. I love it because he includes your brother. He said Aaron. You hear me?
You don't see Aaron there.
Yes, he said Aaron. Aaron was your mouthpiece.
Yep.
Aaron was the one that was with you when you was walking these people through this. If you think carnal, then I'm going to go into the grave. But if you think spiritual, then I'll finally get to go home
Just going home.
with God. Abraham is the father of faith. Don't ever remove that. Abraham wasn't assured where he would go. All he knows is he had talked to who? The supreme being, God, the Father, who had given him the illustration or a demonstration beyond. Abraham, get thee out of thy country. That sounds so simple. But guys, if I've been raised the whole time over here,
Right.
and I'm hearing somebody that's telling me I got to get out of my country,
So,
never to come back.
I know.
Hold on. And I don't even know where I'm going. Hear me? Just I gotta leave. That's faith. That's faith. That's the idea of walking on a ledge that ain't there. But you're doing it. Well, this is what they have done as well. Aaron and Moses. They didn't know where the promised land was. All they know is God is directing them to this location. Now he says, now that you're here, look. Look over it. Look and see it. So here's the other thing. How far can your eyes see? Let's get real. I told you this is spiritual. How far can your eyes see? Oh, about a mile or two. Come on. You say, I may be saying that may be too far. But you see what I'm saying? But that's all you can see. Then it gets what? Tinier and tinier. dimmer and dimmer, right? Because you're using these.
Yeah.
But if you're spiritual, when he takes him up to that mountains, when he takes him up to Abarim, he says, look, who do you think is opening his eyes to see? God is getting him to see. You need to see that, you know, that from where you are standing on top of this mountain, that great may be yet little to you. But if God opens your eyes as great as this big. Did you hear me? You see what I'm saying? So that's why I said in dealing with this is the issue. God is at work. He has opened Moses' eyes, and when I speak of eyes, I also speak of what? Understanding. He's opening Moses' understanding of what he needs to do. A lot of times I said it, you get baptized and that's all you got was wet. Why? Because your eye of understanding has never been opened. But you got to get your eye of understanding. That's why you do it daily, study it daily, so that your eye of understanding will open. As it opens, then you start to see God is real. And then you start living like you're living. I didn't say it happens overnight. Some it takes a little bit more time. But the ideal of it is your eyes did get open where you can now see that. How many times have you said, I don't know why they act like they act? Because you can see they can't.
Yeah.
They will, here's what we call it. Well, some people's faith are greater than another. Remember, have you heard that? That's what we call it. It ain't faith. It's just understanding. When one man finally understands the scriptures, then he moves. When you understand things, then you move. You don't realize it, then you move. Somebody tell you to go around that corner and it's dark, pitch black. Go around the building. You edge yourself around it. You crawl on that building. Whereas someone else says, sure, no problem, nothing around the building, no way. How about this? Building scares you. How about I say, I need you to go back in there and get this book, or get this out of from the church. Ever been in here at night? Isn't it pitch black in here, Lynn? It's pitch black in here. Why, watch this. What's running through your mind? Oh, Lord, I need to hurry up, get some light on. Right? That's what's running through your mind. But watch this. But you know there's no one in here. So you can come on in and do what you... When I first came here and to see it like this, and I was like, whoa. And I would come in when it's dark, I'm like, I don't know if I want to roll up in here by myself. But as you think about it more and more, and you get to know it more and more, ain't nobody up in here. Go in here and go turn the lights on, go and do what you got to do.
This is your imagination.
And that's my point. So I've got to stop living off of my imagination, living off of my emotions, and start living off the Word of God. Moses is living off of what? The Word of God. How many times? Twice. He could have saw the backside of God. See what I'm saying? So he's living not off of emotions. He's living off of what he knows. This God will provide for me. This God I serve will make a way for me. This God is not mentioning Aaron to condemn me. He's mentioning Aaron to encourage me. I've got work to do. So then, 14, can we now move, or are we struggling? I don't want to create a problem. We see it. So then 14 says what?
For ye rebelled against my commandment in the desert of Zin, in the strife of the congregation, to sanctify me at the water before their eyes, that is the water of America, and in Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin.
So then, what does God do now? Reminds them why you will not enter that land. But watch this. I've got your 3 reasons on your sheet. Moses had Moses had disobeyed God.
In 3 ways.
Come on.
Moses had spoken to the people in anger instead of addressing the rock as commanded by God. In fact, he had lashed out at the people, calling them rebels.
Sure did.
Moses had not given God the full credit and honor for providing the water. He took some of the credit himself. In anger, he lashed out at the people, shouting, "Must we bring you water?"
Did you catch it? What the problem is?
We.
Did you say, it's the we? Must we? You ain't doing nothing.
Right.
Okay? So often do you see that? Ministers think it's theirs. And they make like, wow, I gave this beautiful. This is why the church grew because of, or he can say because of we. We work together. When it has nothing to do with you, it's God's work. It's God that says, I'll grow church when I'm ready to grow church. I'll add to her when I'm ready to add to her. And God, I don't care how hard you preach. I don't care how long you preach. It's when I'm ready to add to the kingdom, that's when she'll happen. Only when God wants her to grow. So then, watch this, that we, come on, we.
By saying we, Moses was assuming some of the credit himself.
Sure was.
This was a serious offense to God, for God will not share his glory with any man.
That's why I made the statement, God is never going to accept number 2. He's never going, I don't care what reasons you come up with. You say, let me tell you why I didn't come. God is saying, let me state this. If you think I'm going to be number 2, that ain't happening. If you're telling me who you serve, then serve. But Lord, I'm going to come to you when things ain't right. God says that I'm going to laugh at you when things ain't right. Because you don't make me number 2 and then shift me back to number 1. And then make me number, you know, hear me, and then make me number 2 on something else. And then shift me back to number 1. God says, I am to remain number 1 in your life at all times. You are to make the sacrifice. No matter what, you are to make that sacrifice because I am to be number 1 in your life. And anytime you lower God, don't worry about it. He ain't going to accept number 2. I've said too many times, been somewhere where you ain't got no business being, and let God catch you. What a horrible situation. You say, I don't understand. Matthew, the 24th chapter, really opens that door. When he makes a statement, one will be in the field, and the other will be lifted. When will he come? Like a thief in the night. I'll come when you got all the excuses in the world. I pop up. And now you want to give me a good excuse. It won't work. It won't work. There are going to be so many people that have, well, you know what, Lord, I'm sorry. So many people crying and begging, please, Lord, I'm so sorry. God says, you don't understand. Let me get your God for you. His name is Satan. Because I requested, I told you, I asked you what I wanted. You decided to do it your way. Well, enjoy it. Well, enjoy your way. In the meantime, you're trying to tell me I've missed heaven? No, I'm trying to tell you disobedient people will not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Disobedient people. Let's go.
Moses struck the rock with his staff instead of speaking to it as God had commanded. In fact, he was so angry that he struck the rock twice.
So then here's my point. Look at what Moses did that would not allow him into the earthly promised land. Well, that ain't that bad. He just spoke what he should have. See what I'm saying? That ain't that bad. He hit the rock. So he hit the rock twice. Oh, come on. He just hit the rock. That would be our thinking. Come on, Sandy. You know that would be our thinking. Come on. He just hit the rock twice. Come
After
on.
all he's done.
Yeah, come on, Tiffany. You know what I'm saying. That's where we would come from.
I know, right?
That's how we would hit it. Watch this. I said it because that's where you see view Nipsey Hussle. Well, look what all he's done.
But we really don't know, I mean, how he was. I mean, how do we really know?
It's all hearsay.
We don't know, but we know that if you live by the sword, you're going to die
Well,
by it.
that's true.
That's it. That's all we need to
right
know.
there. Yeah.
I said talk to Rico because here's my point that a lot of people miss.
But his
You're
father-
in a game. When you went into a game, you did everything right. You never did nothing wrong in a game. You were always at a distance when something was going on. You never were a participant. Come on, Rico, you know what I'm telling you. You would never participate in it. Did you catch me? You did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. That's why you have no business going back. Am I right? That's why you have no business going back. Because there is somebody that remembers.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Now, wait a minute. You may have made peace with everybody, but you didn't make peace with me. I still want you. I'm still coming to get you. We could die, we can call it jealous or whatever because we're not aware of what that was. Whatever it was enough that took him out. Whatever it was enough to take him out. Like I told you, one bullet, that's one thing. But 5?
Yeah, he came back.
Come on now. But 5? Something's wrong with that picture. And I said, we will never get the full understanding of why that man was hit that many times. I hear it all. Now I hear there's a conspiracy. Now I hear there was a hit. It doesn't matter. The man is dead.
Amen.
And he's got to now face the one that he denied. That's the big one. Because I told you, we that are Christian, you can't, I like your statement, straddle the fence. Either you are or you aren't. I told you God will not accept being number 2. Today I'm number 1. Praise his holy name. I'm screaming, I'm shouting. I'm the one singing the loudest. But tomorrow I'm over here doing some dirt. Ooh, I should have did that. So now I'm going to go back and be with God. You can't keep playing. That's a wavering faith. You can't do it. You come up short. Because don't you have heard them say, don't get caught with your pants down? You don't know when God is going to call you. Nipsey didn't know when God was calling him. He wouldn't have died if God wanted him to live. Stop and think about it. But he died because that was the time God said you would live. I mean, you would leave this world. So many people have taken bullets every which way and still lived. That's God giving them a second chance to tell them to turn this thing around. Now, if you're going to do right, do right. It's sad when you still do what's wrong after he didn't send I didn't get what else I need to give you. I was the one that restored your life, not them doctors. I was the one that said you wouldn't die, not them doctors. It was me that did this. That's how important that is.
Yeah.
So anyway, I love your statement. I did it my way. I love your statement because that is true. So then watch this. I've got, getting back to our text. 15 says what?
And Moses spake unto the Lord, saying, let the Lord, the God of the spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation.
So then what do we see? So now what do we see? Look into the text. I've just been told you will not enter into the promised land. I don't know about you, but that's enough to make me, my head go down. You know what I'm saying? That's enough to make me, oh my God, I can't believe this. Especially when you give me that spiritual vision to see what you were going to take me. So I see it. And then I've heard you make a statement and told me I couldn't go. I'm going to be buried with my brother. I'm like, man. Listen, I told you that was an encouraging thought, not a discouraging thought. Moses once again thinks about who? And this is where the problem lies with us. Moses thinks about who? The people. That's right. The congregation. He sure does. Moses thinks about others. Watch this. Aren't we to think about others? Isn't that amazing? God is using, once again, it shows that Moses belongs to him. Moses said his concern is if you take me, then who's going to lead these people?
He said, as a set of men over the congregation.
So that in your paper says the latter part, the lower part.
Many times during his long ministry, Moses had proved himself a true leader by being more concerned for the people than for himself. Twice God had offered to destroy the Jews and start a new nation with turn page.
With turn page. I don't see no turn page.
With Moses. But Moses had refused, and
You see
often he had interceded for the people when God's judgment was about to fall.
Watch this. Did not Moses forever do that?
All the time.
All the time. God said to Moses, move over. Remember, that's in your 14. Move over. He says, I'm going to do what? I'm going to destroy them all. What was God doing? God was building Moses up. You've got a great task in front of you. So often do when a task is put before us, I don't know why God gave me this. I don't know why this is happening to me. When God is just simply building character. He's building you so that you can take on. I said it with the church. I says, when did she grow? God says, when she matures. Did you hear me? When she understands what I've asked of her to do, then I ain't going to give you some work and I know you're going to run. And I know you ain't going to do nothing with it. And I know you're going to be iffy behind it. You never thought about that? Think about it. I wonder why Westchester's not blowing up. I said that from KC all the time. And I had to tell her, because God ain't going to pass such valuable work onto a stiff-necked, stubborn people. He ain't going to do it. We have to come out of being stiff-necked and stubborn. We have to truly walk by faith. It is called, I can't say it enough, it is called a sacrifice. By the way, I can't be talking to you because you here. So don't nobody get mad. But it is called, you hear what I'm saying? But it is called a sacrifice. Are you willing to make, I was headed home, but maybe I'll head over to the church and be with my brothers and sisters. But watch this. But yet, when something goes on, you want to be part of the program. When something goes on, you hear me? And God shakes his head. I wouldn't dare give you some responsibility when I know today you'll do something, but tomorrow. So when you do something, then you know what you're saying? What God, how God sees it? It's about you. It's you trying to elevate yourself. I talked to Dwayne it was Saturday, when we had a brother to tell me, I want to come over to Westchester, but I want to preach. What is this about? Somebody said, well, where you stand with that? I says, I tell her which pew you want, because you're going to sit there. Did you hear me? Which one of them do you want? But you're going to sit there and you're going to stay there for a minute. Why? Because you do not understand what kingdom work is. We don't need speakers. We need preachers. You know the difference? We don't need speakers. We need preachers. We don't need speakers. We need teachers. And what are you saying? The life you live is what we need. But if you're not going to live this, and you won't, because it's about you. That's why you wanted to speak. Brother Thompson, I got a message. I just want to give it Sunday. You won't get it from me. I'll tell you what. I hope you get it. I said, I will tell you what you want me to do. We can take this in, because this is the most portable one we got. We can take and put it out in the streets so you can speak. Wait, but I want to speak. You won't speak in here. It is my responsibility to give that brother.
Speak in the nursery to the babies.
What you say?
Put them in the nursery.
Yeah, now watch it. Now that you mentioned it to me, maybe that's why I tell you, yeah, you're right. Let me set you up. Brother, watch it. They need Jesus, don't they need Jesus? Okay. But you're right, that's a good one. I'm thinking like that. Yes.
You even left you this lesson.
What's that? Oh,
You even left you this lesson.
sure did. The message was so awesome that went to the car to get the message and brought it in and told me, yeah, I want you to go ahead and look it over. Didn't I give it to somebody else?
Yeah.
I said, let me do this. If you want this, you can have it. Or either I'll put it in a round file. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Okay. I don't waste my time with when someone wants to be elevated. I don't waste my time. You're not doing this for God. You're doing this for you. You want somebody to see. I've said this too. You've been up preaching for some time and you don't have anywhere to work out of. And you've been doing it for 20 and 30 some years. Don't you get it? Maybe you don't get it. Let me see if I can help you get it. God is the one that moves. God will find you. God will put you where He wants you. If you ain't been put, maybe you need to think about another occupation in the church. Maybe you might be the best door greeter in the world. That you think is the worst position in the church. That's where the problem lies. You don't know how to be a servant. You want somebody to serve you. You want accolades. You want people to pat you on the back and talk about what a fantastic job you've done. Said it doesn't work that way. So we've got Moses. I'm trying to tell you, that is an awesome thought when you look at that. Moses' concern is for the people.
So that's why his punishment not to be able to go into the promised land was so profound, because
I like
he,
that.
loves
No,
the
I
people.
like that.
And he want to see what people are going to receive and
I
how
like
they're going to live. So, because at first I'm like, oh, he's probably tired of these people. He's like, good, I'm ready to die.
And you would think that, but you would think that, hallelujah, this thing is fine. You took you that long to see I'm tired of people just like you tired of them? Okay, but his love, his compassion, he had learned a lot from God. Remember when Moses started, Moses was rebellious. But, Lord, I can't even talk. Why did you check? Lord, I can't, who made your tongue? Who made your mouth? Even after that was brought to his attention, he still rebelled. Go get Aaron. Go get your brother.
God had a lot of mercy on him.
Yes, but God sees what we don't see. God, watch this. We're put down here with a purpose. I've said to people, some live 110 years old. Boy, they live long because they were was because they took care of their health. You ask them, they got cigarette in their mouth as you ask them. Huh? Wait a minute, how you live so long? You only live because you haven't completed the will of God. So you're thinking, well, I'm living 110 years old, and you know what, I can still get around. Really? If this is getting around, you hear me? If that's what's getting around, stop and think about it. You can barely maneuver, but you're getting around. You're not hearing the pain that they're going through. Often it's everywhere. You're not hearing those restless nights. Often is everywhere. See, we're not hearing this. But you put me on TV, yeah, I can tell you about how we've been coming along. Oh, come on, let's run down the street. Can't do that. You hear what I'm saying? Well, let's walk fast down. Can't do that. Well, watch this. Let's just walk for a minute. I know that Joker didn't go to sleep over there. but you see what I'm saying? Stop and think about it. Brother Moses, this is awesome. So, Tiffany, you finished me, right? Though he was about to die?
Though he was about to die, Moses didn't think about himself, but about the future of the nation. His great concern was that God provide a spiritual leader for the people, for they were sheep, and sheep must have a shepherd.
This has been the problem, guys. This is what's going on. It's out now with Normandy. This is what's going on with Normandy. You got some wolves, and your brotherhood allowed them wolves to come up in there. And now you're trying to figure out how you're going to get them wolves to shut up and get out of there. But when you tamper with them, those wolves will do what? They produce division. They'll split the church. Wolves, because you let them sit there and grow. You allow them to speak. You have allowed them to teach in your classrooms. And then the real wolf came out. And it's tearing the church up. Because of what? The lack of leadership that wouldn't recognize it early and shut it down. You're here for the wrong reasons, brother. I'm going to ask you to sit down. No, you'd rather make them deacons. Come on, Dwayne, you know I'll tell the truth. You'd rather make them deacons. And now you want to, oh, whoa, now let's take some power back. You can't, it won't work. Because when you take them, you take others. And when you take others, you split the church. Now you split the church. Listen to what's going on. Moses, your concern is that these raving wolves don't come in and take leadership. That's your concern. 18 says what in your Bible?
And the Lord said unto Moses, take thee Joshua, the son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit, and lay thy hand upon him.
Is that 18?
That's 18.
That's where I want. Look what God has done. You don't have to figure out who you're going to choose. You got it. I told you, God will equip the church. Well, maybe we need to go figure out what, brother, how we're going to make this work. Because, Brother Thompson in here, so we need to figure out. No. All you need to do is have a spiritual man listen to God. A man that walks by faith will listen to God. I've always said, God always does what? He equips his church. The church, he's told even Brother Timothy to put it in order. God is always at work. The church belongs to who? To God. Watch this. What do you think Israel is? That's the church. That's what that is. That's the congregation. That's the church. And what is God doing? Now God is saying, you know what you want to do? Maybe you want to go what? Maybe you want to go pull straws. God said, no, you don't need to pull straws. God says, let me tell you, just like I spoke when I spoke to Moses and tell him, well, you're going to be with your brother. Now I'm speaking again. And what am I saying? The one that you've been around. You know that little fella that liked you a lot? You know that little fella that was always around you? By the way, that is Joshua. You know that little fella that grew up? You know that little fella that you sent out? You sent out to what? Spy on the land? Remember that guy you spied and said, because watch this. Caleb is much older than Joshua. Y'all hear me? Caleb is much older. Why did you choose Caleb? Something to think about it. You choose Joshua. So watch this. God says, because my spirit is upon him. But watch this. My spirit don't come upon that which is dead. My spirit comes upon that which is willing to do what I've asked him to do. I heard Jesus say, you don't cast your pearls to swines. Jesus is not going to do that either. God says, I'm going to get you a leader. Someone that will lead. Hear me now. Because Joshua's a young man. Watch your text. Because Joshua's a young man. So watch this. Do I have some work on that one?
Yes. Joshua was the man God chose to take Moses' place. But Joshua had worked closely with Moses since the nation left Egypt.
Sure did.
He led the Jewish army in defeating the Amalekites. And he ministered as Moses' servant, even going up Sinai with Moses when God gave the law.
Come on.
As one of the 12 spies, he joined with Caleb in encouraging people to enter the land.
That's it.
He was filled with the Spirit and had been disciplined in the rigors of Egyptian slavery and the wilderness march. In every way, he was a perfect successor to Moses.
So then watch this, guys. In this paragraph that I've come up with, you see the Amalekites, right? That's one, right? Then what do you see? And you see, watch this, Moses' servant, right? He went where with Moses? To Sinai, right? What I'm trying to get you to see is this. God is preparing you for work. And you don't even know. Did you hear me? And you're not even aware what God is doing. Wait a minute. I'm to lead the Jewish army, and we're going to fight the Amalekites, right? So we're going to go fight them. Well, thank you, Moses. You're going to let me lead them right on. He doesn't see the big picture. Now, God says, Moses, come up to the mountain. And guess who comes with Moses? Joshua. He didn't come all the way up. But he comes to the foot of that mountain. Y'all don't hear me. Well, could you even touch the mountain? You hear me? You couldn't even touch the mountain. But here he was at the mountain. But he don't see it. He still don't see what's going on. Hey, I'm sending out 12 spies, right? I'm sending out 12 spies. But who came back with that we can beat them? Caleb and Joshua. He doesn't even see God preparing him for work. Oh, y'all, maybe I haven't caught it. Because that's what he's trying to do to you.
So today, you know how God may be preparing you? So is that sometimes through, it could be a trial that you may be going through. But if you learn it from that trial, you get stronger in how to.
You got it.
Even how you deal with people.
You got it. I said, my buddy Rob, I says, how many times have I said something that just hurt your feelings? Jamal, how many times have I said something that just hurt your feelings? Come on, let's get real. What's going on? It's building character. No, but sometimes I just don't know. I wish you wouldn't do this, but sometimes I wish you. It's building character. It's making you a better person to be able to take on greater responsibilities. Everybody's looking soft, quiet spoken Dwayne. And haven't we bumped heads? What's going on? It's building character. You can't see it. No, it's Brother Thompson. That's what your problem is. You keep looking at the man instead of looking at the real source. God, what are you trying to tell me through this man? Because I'm to love that man, even though he said something I don't like. But I'm to love him. So Lord, let me look beyond Brother Thompson. What are you trying to teach me? What are you asking me to do? That's why I said, as he builds character, he's trying to build it in you too. If you just let him.
Sometimes it's not even just through you. It could just be through anybody that you run across, something that they may do that kind of build you up.
Oh, I agree, but here's my point. The reason why I said me, because what do you see me as? He's aggressive. He gonna say what he gonna say what he has to say, and sometimes I just don't like it. But who am I to God?
Servant.
I'm God's man. So Satan says, do what? Come on. Take it the wrong way. Don't accept it. The nerve of him talking to you like that. As I say, it works. When God is saying it's just building character. As you go through bumps and bruises in life, it's to make you a better person. You will appreciate heaven better. Once you understand, once you go through. So here's Joshua, a young man that he's working. Watch this. Your Bible says in 19 says what?
And set him before Eleazar the priest, and before all the congregation, and give him a charge in their sight.
Who's to be doing this? The leader. And what is the leader then to do? Once again, you asked me, what about the congregation? Didn't you? God says, and I will give you what's needed for the congregation. I will put another man in charge of these people. I told you, this is not a downer. This is an encouragement to know, wait a minute, Joshua's been with me the whole time, come to think of it. Wait a minute, Joshua, little Joshua? You should have Joshua. He's the one that's going to take my people, not to the promised land, but through it. He's going to do it. He's going to be the one. So then watch this. Your Bible says in 20.
And thou shalt put some of thine honor upon him, that all the congregation of the children of Israel may be obedient.
Come on. Read.
Moses, of which word Moses was to know. Moses was to know that God's Spirit was in Joshua. No man could lead God's people apart from the Spirit of God. For this reason, God had already placed the Spirit in Joshua. The Holy Spirit was now controlling Joshua's life and preparing him to lead God's people. God instructs Moses to lay your hand on him, a symbol of the transfer of office and leadership. He is to be commissioned before Eleazar.
Oh, yes.
Eleazar, and the people, so all will understand that he is to be the leader.
Keep going.
In the weeks that followed, Moses gradually gave more responsibility to Joshua, so that people learned to respect him and obey him as God's chosen leader. Part of Moses' commissioning speech is found in Deuteronomy 31, 1-8, and God gave Joshua further encouragement in Joshua 1,
So then-
1-9.
Watch this. So then, Joshua didn't just instantly become a leader. What are you doing? God is doing what? Preparing Joshua. Why are you doing it? The one that I'm going to take. You're going to prepare him. You're going to get him to understand, hey, watch this. If you can empty you, God can work through you. If you can empty you, that's why we're talking about them more big preachers. God can't deal with somebody that wants to be somebody. I even said when it comes to elders and deacons, your work says that you should be an elder or deacon in the church. Not, I need to come and tell you I want to be a deacon, I want to be an elder. Your work alone should say, I don't know, Acts the 6th chapter, I heard Brother Peter say something. He says, select from amongst you men that are faithful. Wait a minute, they're in the church. They're there, they're faithful. Select. Then he started to name those that were selected. Isn't that amazing? When God, I told you, a church that grows is a church that learns to accept discipline. It ain't gonna hurt, it ain't gonna kill you. I ain't gonna take no belt, I'll whoop you. It ain't gonna kill you. It is something that's needed in the church so that God can grow her. God first comes in and prunes the church. He got to get all the bad trimmings out of her. Then after he prunes her, then God has got to work. Well, now then God can grow church. No, then God has got to develop the church. The church has got to take on responsibility. The church has to do this. Here we go. Moses. You got a whole lot of sheep, anywhere from 4 to 6 million. Would you want that job? Stop and think about it. 4 to 6 million people. Would you want to be the leader? Stop and think about it. Well, shoot, I can be somebody if I'm the leader. How many times did they want to kill Moses and Aaron? Stop and think about it. And they didn't have bodyguards. Stop and think about it. Would you want that? Would you want that job? And here's the bigger one. The pain and suffering you're going to receive didn't happen on earth. Oh, y'all didn't catch it. See, a leader, that pain and suffering, you didn't catch it here. God says, according to James 3:1, to be a teacher, says there is a greater condemnation. What do you mean? Take it lightly if you want to. Did nothing happen? You're right, did nothing happen? God says, well, boy, when you die, I got some flames that'll wait you out of this world. You ain't felt the punishment that your sheep will feel. You ain't felt it. Because you wanted to take on the leadership. I gave it to you. What did you do with my people? Boy, y'all always think it's the preacher. Woo, that preacher gonna catch hell. Last time I checked, he told you to go and make disciples. Don't you understand that makes you a leader? Don't you understand that makes you a leader? Cheryl, that comes here, she comes on Wednesday Bible study. Cheryl, I said, Fred. I said, Cheryl, Fred is your disciple. When I first said that to her, she struggled big time. I said, Sugar, you have to reach out and snatch that man and help that man. I says, Because he can, I don't care what of his reasons may have been, but he came because you gave that out to him. That's your disciple. You got to work with him. Ask yourself, who are you discipling? If you say no one, well, think about it. Because you should be discipling someone. My time is expired.